All right, hey crew. Here, your CFO, Chief Fitness Officer. We're back. What we also have here is our programmer. This is Jeff, if you haven't met him before. I don't program the workout, so when there's burpees, that's the guy. Just remember that. What we wanted to talk to you about today is the goals board. So spring goals at FCF 2021. Spring's over. So what does our goals look like? So the things Jeff and I were talking about as we do look at your goals, we want you to be successful, is what is on this board. And one of the things we noticed is that there's nothing about a single weight. No one put deadlift, no one put back squat. Tim, we're gonna get you your 95-pound thrusters, but that's the only weight listed anywhere on the entire board. But there is one thing that shows up pretty consistently across people here, and that's gymnastics. So you see double unders shows up almost 10 times. We've got push-ups, we have pull-ups and muscle-ups, pull-ups and muscle-ups, pull-ups and muscle-ups, pistols, handstand push-ups, toes to bar, just pull-up strength. Awesome, Scott, that's actually spot on. I love that because pull-up strength and pull-ups are both different and the same, and we'll talk more about that. But we wanted to let you know that we look at your goals and we want to help you achieve those goals, and that you're not just writing up these up here in vain. So first off, we're going to program a lot more gymnastics for you so that you can meet your goals. So when we change this to summer goals, we can be a little more specific. So first off, when Jeff and I talk about programming, he's getting started on the summer series. Jeff, when I say, hey, let's get better at gymnastics, what does gymnastics even mean to you?
Yeah, so the simple definition for gymnastics that I use is controlling your body through time and space. So if you think about the theoretical development of an athlete, it's a pyramid, and at the base is nutrition, and then above that is CRE, or cardiorespiratory endurance. So think about monostructural movements like rowing, running, swimming, biking, getting your heart rate up, and then it's gymnastics, and that comes before weightlifting. So as the case is with all pyramids, if you want to get better at weightlifting, you first have to ensure that your gymnastic capacity and ability is strong and solid, or else your weightlifting is going to crumble at some point. You will reach a limit based on your gymnastics. And so gymnastics, again, the simplest definition is controlling your body through time and space, putting it through a range of motion with intentionality and control. There's a difference between doing a cartwheel, which would be gymnastics, and just flinging your body and falling down, even though they might look somewhat similar.
Yeah, I have a 9-year-old, I get it.
For sure.
Yeah.
So when we talk about gymnastics, we're referring to things obviously like ring muscle-ups, pull-ups, bar muscle-ups, handstand walks, handstand push-ups, but even things like push-ups, air squats. Once you start adding a load, it's like a difference I like to make is what are you controlling? In weightlifting, you are controlling an external object, putting that object through time and space as a result of your body engaging with it. Whereas in gymnastics, you are controlling your body, putting it through time and space, sometimes around an object. So you think about the rings, you're not moving the rings, you're moving yourself around the rings. Whereas with like a push jerk, you're moving the bar up over your head. The bar isn't rotating, like you're controlling the bar, not necessarily putting your body around it. And so you can also look at gymnastics in terms of like life. If you think about what's most important, obviously what you eat is going to be paramount, but then you want to be able to squat down to the toilet. I have a 1-year-old, a 9-year-old, grandparents, right? Being able to like get on the floor to do a diaper change, or to go to the playground and be able to crawl underneath the slide, or even crawl up the slide. That's gymnastics, right? That has very little to do with how much you can back squat, deadlift, or push press, and much more about how you're able to utilize your body in time and space with life, right? And that's kind of the point of CrossFit. So simple definition of gymnastics, moving your body, controlling your body through time and space.
Right, absolutely. And that's I think that's a key definition. is to learning, what health and fitness is. Yes, a lot of the things we typically see are super important, but we're gonna do things in the gym now that you're gonna be like, how is this making me more fit? Well, there's the answer right there. It's helping your lifestyle.
Yeah.
So now we have a good feel for what gymnastics is. How do you go about training that? So if I have 2 pull-ups, or I got my first pull-up, but we're trying to get to sets of 10,
Yeah.
what's the best way to go about that?
Yeah, great question. And so you talked about the 10 components or skills of fitness, and gymnastics really are working on agility, flexibility, balance, and coordination,
Yeah.
right? And those things we encounter to some degree when we're using a barbell, but we are really emphasizing them when we're focusing on our gymnastic work.
Yeah.
And if you just squat, deadlift, and press, you are going to miss out on 4 huge components, right?
Right.
You want to be as efficient as possible those 10. The way to train gymnastics, in my opinion, and feel free to chime in, is I like things that are focusing on gymnastic stamina, so your ability to complete multiple reps, right? You saying I have 2 pull-ups, how do I get to 10? A lot of that is focusing on gymnastic stamina. How quickly can you repeat a movement and for how long? And
Yeah.
so I like to do things like EMOMs, right? So if you were my personal training client and you said, hey, I want to get 10 pull-ups by the end of summer, consecutive, we would do things like EMOMs and progressions. So an EMOM, every minute on the minute, we would do like a 10-minute EMOM of 2.
Yeah.
Right? Or maybe 3 pull-ups. So you hit it, rest, hit it, rest, hit it, rest. That's a huge difference between like what's going to happen tomorrow in Murph, where you're going to do 100 pull-ups and it's going to take 10 to 20 minutes.
Yeah.
You did 100 pull-ups, you didn't get better at doing pull-ups. You didn't develop the capacity of intentional work, rest, and then continuing to build on that. And then progression. So this falls in line with the acronym of MCI, mechanics, consistency, intensity. So for pull-ups, for example, we can start with something basic like a dead hang, right? So gymnastics, more than anything else, uses grips, right? Your grip, and there's like 3 or 4 different kinds of grips in the way that your forearms and thumbs and fingers all work together. But for me, my limiting factor in chest to bar pull-ups is my grip grips.
Yeah.
Or rope climbs or whatnot. And so dead hang, and then you could move into a scapular pull-up, making sure that our muscles and joints are actively firing in a safe and healthy way. Moving into something like a kip swing under control, focusing on a hollow body position, going to that pause, firing the hips. So there's ways that we can build it. That's already 4 or 5 exercises
Right.
that we can focus on, and we still haven't done a pull-up.
Yeah.
And then once we get to that pull-up, it's like, how do we then transition into the next one, and into the next one, and we use all that. And so EMOMs, progressions, I think are 2 fundamental ways of training gymnastics.
Yeah, love that. And before I let you go, the thing I want to build on is how this is going to make every single person better. If you're that you can muscle your way through some really poor mechanics. So if you're that guy or girl who says, hey, I can string 3 bar muscle ups in a row, but you're doing that chicken wing where the right arm comes and then the left arm comes, great, you're muscling your way poorly through 3. So really, in order to get 4, 5, 6 in a row, it's not building more stamina with poor mechanics. It's dialing back. It's stopping doing bar muscle ups altogether and coming back and doing those progressions of, are my hips firing at the same time? Do I have each side of my body working in unison? So really, sometimes to get your ceiling to raise, we have to reset that foundation. So progressions are going to be a beautiful thing no matter what your starting capacity is. It's the same thing. If you can squat 300 pounds, that doesn't mean we don't go back to your air squat and dial in perfect mechanics there. So just know progressions are for anyone and everyone, no matter where you're at. Those basic foundational movements, that's how you raise your ceiling. It's not just doing more work of whatever you have now.
Yeah. And if I can add on to that, you talk about, you can bring someone in who can squat 400 pounds.
Yeah.
and then give them a jump rope and say do a double under. And they can't do it, right?
Right.
Because gymnastics, in my opinion, more so than like barbell movements, it has a neurological component. So it's about your brain connecting to what your body is doing. And which is why you can't just give someone a jump rope and on their first try, they just start spitting out double unders.
Right.
Because it requires practice, requires training, requires a lot of that intentional repetition.
Yeah.
And one of the things I love about gymnastics is you can, no matter how good you are at it, you can always become better, right? Like
Right.
At some point, I'm most likely not going to snatch 300 pounds.
Right.
Just probably not going to happen. But there are things that in my gymnastic capacity that I can do to improve. You go home and watch Simone Biles do anything, and you're like,
she literally just pulled off a brand new movement a week ago. Gold medalist 5 years ago, best in the entire world, still pulled off a new move about a week ago.
yep, go home and watch anything that she does, and you go, wow, there's hundreds of things that I can do with my gymnastics. Or if you have double unders, you can do 100 in a row.
Mhm.
Like, can you do 100 and move from side to side, front to back, right? Like, what are the other variables that you can introduce into your gymnastic training that will require you to improve? We've seen that at the CrossFit Games where it goes from a handstand walking to a handstand obstacle course to walking upstairs to going across uneven bars. Like, there's ways that you can take even a handstand walk and
Yeah.
make it more challenging.
Right. All right. Well, thanks for listening to us, guys. We wanted to give you kind of a sneak peek what your summer looks like. And there's probably nothing cooler than handstand walking off the edge of the diving board. So we're here for you guys. Otherwise, new goals board will be up. And again, letting you know, whatever you put up, we are here to make your fitness better. So if you want something to work on, let us know what you really want to accomplish, and we'll make sure we can get that done for you. All right, guys, thanks for listening. See ya.